Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Grounded Football Tottenham. We are still here. We've still not been kicked off the show yet. Happy days. I'm surprised with the bunch I've got with me today. So, Alan, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm surprised we've not been kicked off as well. We must be doing something right, so we'll see how it goes. But I think I'm okay. I don't know about the other two, though.
We'll see. Jacob, how are you, mate?
All good, thank you. How you doing, Ryan?
Yes, very well. Weekend tomorrow. I'm going to Cheltenham races tomorrow, so very excited for the weekend.
You go when you go to Cheltenham when it's cold?
I'll go to Cheltenham anytime, mate.
No, you got to go in the springtime when it's April, whatever. Then I'll go there.
Yeah, we go then as well. We go to any chance we can get.
I'll remember that. We'll have to go together.
Any chance the wife lets me out to spend a bit of money, I'm straight in, no matter what the weather, mate. So don't bother me.
Doing it right.
Mark, how are you, my friend?
Good, my friend. You?
Not bad. Thank you very much. Obviously,
excellent.
Our viewers will notice that we are one short this weekend. Kirst is under the weather, but she is here in fort. She's keeping her eyes on Alan for the for the show tonight.
Well, always vice captain.
Well, we'll see how the show goes. But anyway, let's not get into that just quite yet. Alan, another weekend of a Tottenham game. Another weekend of no shots on target. Obviously, we've been on separate shows so far, other than this show. We've spoken about it, but what positives do you take out of that Everton game, if any?
I think the only negative you can take from that game is the no shots on target. It's a big deal, which I think will come with time. If anyone thought it was going to be a quick fix and a 3-0 thumping of Everton, 4-0 thumping of Everton, really don't know football. Although you've got world-class manager, you've got a new system, new formation, new tactics, new work ethic. Everything's different, so it's going to take some time for stuff like that to get through. You saw the ideas coming through in the team with the extra width and creating chances. But it was one of them games where, we had the odd chance here and there. That will come in time, so it will get better. Lo Celso should have made it 1-0. It was unlucky to hit the post. Apart from that, in the middle, I think three of them, like Moura, Son and Kane, won't work. I think it might have to be a 2 and drop somebody off and go for a 3-5-2. I think it's just a bit too crowded, unless they can get used to the formation under Conte of 3-4-3. But there's stuff in the coming weeks. It'll get better and better each week, and then we'll see it completely change in January. Should he get the back in that's been promised to him? But decent start. At least our shoddy defence kept a clean sheet, which is a work in progress in itself. So you can't have everything work well in week one. It's going to take some time, but there were some signs there that it's going in the right direction.
Yeah, Jacob, how's that for you? Did you see any improvement? Obviously, like Alan's just said, it's Conte's first league game in charge. Did you see any difference to the Nuno era?
Yeah, it was just like I said in the group. I thought it wasn't the greatest, but like Alan said, you can't really expect it to just happen overnight. You'd love it to, because it does happen with some managers, but we saw it with Mourinho. I remember when Mourinho came in, we beat West Ham 3-2. Dele Alli was back, and then all Spurs fans were like, all of a sudden we're going to win everything. And then quite quickly, it got back to what we expected Mourinho to do. So I actually prefer the fact that it's a slow thing. And when I watched the game, in the extended highlights and stuff, I thought you got to take a positive from it, which was the fact that we kept a clean sheet. The formation that Conte is playing, I don't know if you guys remember when we were doing the podcast on Arsenal Tottenham, and I just said that this team is suited to us playing the 3 at the back, because if we can't, we're always wondering who's going to play with Romero. If Romero's not playing on 2-handle, you might as well stick 3 of them in there, because before we were registered interest in Conte, that's what Conte did with Chelsea. Chelsea won the league with 3 defenders that you'd never think would ever play in the 2. David Luiz was always had an error in him. They had Azpilicueta, and I'm trying to think of the other one. I think was it Kurt Zouma. So there's all three defenders were either not, Azpilicueta was right back, David Luiz was calamitous, and so was Kurt Zouma. But he played all three of them in there, kept clean sheets and won the game. So I think that's what he's trying to do. We all slate Ben Davies. He didn't have the worst game, but I think he's more comfortable playing in that position because he's not somebody that gets up and down all the time. He's somebody that if you play him in that back three like they do with Wales, he doesn't do too badly. Eric Dyer probably needs the support of two other defenders, just like David Luiz, because otherwise he'll make a mistake. And Romero, we all know he's solid enough. So, the no shots on target is an absolute killer because you're thinking with the quality we've got, we should do that. But I think you've got to work on it one stage at a time. And for me, the most important thing in football is as long as you've got a good defence that don't ship goals, all you need is one chance and you win the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mark, you were very vocal in the WhatsApp group after that performance. You had a lot to say about it. So how are you feeling now, a week later?
Yeah, like the lads, I think you've got to give it a bit of time. I think the thing that really, really, really annoyed me, and you can see it in the comments in the WhatsApp group, these guys get paid. So it's the passing for me. I get we haven't had a shot on target. I thought we moved quicker. I thought we tried to create some stuff. There was more trying about it. But our passing is it's woeful. And the way we lose balls and everything, I just thought, our defending was good, I thought. So maybe he's going to work from the back and try things like that. But the thing that stood out for me is the passing. I cannot believe these guys get paid the money they get paid. And I want to understand, what do they actually do in training if they cannot pass 5 meters? Because they're not wearing different colored shirts. That's why they all go out in white. So they know which player to pass to, don't they? It baffles me. And yeah, Sunday was, and to be fair, Everton was there for the taking, weren't they? How many players did they have out on Sunday? I still don't think Skippy and Højbjerg together work. It's going to be quite interesting on the next game because I think he's banned for one, isn't he? Because he's got 5 yellows. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how he sets up. I just don't think they work. I don't think it's working together. I don't think he's going to get that free-flowing football because they're holding back with the 3. I'm liking Emerson Royale. I think he's getting up quick. I think once that starts to take shape, I think if Kane stays in the middle, I think you're going to see a lot more like you did, with England tonight. He dropped back maybe once or twice, but I think most of the time he was up front, wasn't he? So I think for me, the thing that I took away, the positives I take away, like Jacob said, clean sheet. I think, if we don't concede goals, we're not going to lose, are we? I think that's the biggest thing, and I think that's what Mourinho tried to do as well, but in a worse way. And I think Conte will start working on the middle and the attack. So I think, the positives I've take from it is we didn't lose the game. Because losing any game, your confidence drops and everything. And after tonight's game, Harry Kane's only going to come back to Tottenham with high confidence. So, people like Emerson Royale, he continues to do what he's doing. Sergio Reguilon, I think he had a bit of so-so game. I was confused with Doherty coming on. That confused me. However, I trust in Conte that he's got a plan, maybe he's trying to make a point somewhere. But, we have to pass better. That's the single point for me out of that game. I know we need to hit the target, but if we pass better, we'll have a lot more opportunities to score, I think.
I would have loved to have heard that and how you felt, Mark. But obviously, you saw in the background I had a troublesome 3-year-old behind me who decided to interrupt my flow of things.
You'll have to go back and watch the recording, pal, because it was very good.
I mean, I appreciate it, Kirst. Yes, she has beautiful kills, but I've said it on a show before. I think that when she hears talk of Tottenham, she immediately thinks Daddy's upset, Daddy's sad, and he's going to talk to Daddy about
I
Tottenham.
get the same thing as well. I get the same thing. It's like whenever I speak about Tottenham, it's like it feels like my kids walk out the room, and then when they come in after 10 minutes, they look at the score and just go, "Oh, you're losing," and then just walk out. You know what I mean? Because it's a trend now.
Yes, they feel our pain very early on. Obviously, I said at the start of the show, Kirst is unwell. She will not obviously be on the show tonight. We do hope that she feels better soon. But she has made a promise to Alan tonight. I don't believe the promise, but she has promised no more gifts of Alan throughout this show. Obviously, we've got Nipun in the comments. Thank you for listening and joining. But Alan, obviously, you and myself spoke about it on Coys.com podcast on Monday, which everyone can listen to on SoundCloud or Spotify, anything like that. So make sure you check out the show. But we spoke about the formation that Conte will be going with for future games. Now, obviously, with the suspension of Skip against Leeds in our next Premier League game, do you think he'll try and implement his new formation early? Do you think he'll go with an extra attacker in there in the side?
I don't know if he will. I've got a feeling he might put Winks in there because from what he's saying, from what's coming out of the club, is that he really likes Winks. Winks has shown a lot of enthusiasm, like loads of energy that he wants to play for Conte, and Conte likes him. Same with Skip. So I think he might stick Winks in there. I don't think that's the best idea. I think Winks, although he's got a lot of energy and enthusiasm, should be moved on. I don't think he's got the quality. I don't know who he's going to put in there. I've just got, for some reason, I've got a suspicion that he might put Lo Celso or Ndombele and switch, one of them two next to Højbjerg and the other one further upfield. I wouldn't say Lo Celso is more attacking. I think he's more in the middle. So I don't think it'll be more attacking. Also against Leeds, isn't it? First game back. So Leeds like to play attacking football. They'll always play attacking no matter what. So will Conte go attacking versus attacking, or just this normal system he does with the 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, and just try and do the overloads in the wings, in the wing areas to create overloads for crosses in? I think he'll go more conservative and have Lo Celso in the middle with Højbjerg and have Ndombele, supporting, in the position behind Kane. That's what I think he'll do. I would love to see Ndombele. I'd like to see Son. I'd like to see a lot more impetus up front, but because although we'll get to this later, people here are saying Kane's back, this and the other, because he's done for England. He's not done for Spurs, so he's not back until he does for Spurs. So it's as simple as that. So yeah, I think up front at the moment, especially with the conceding, not having many shots at all on target in the recent games, I think we need a lot more up front rather than being conservative at the moment. But because it's Leeds and Leeds will come and attack us and try and play, I think Conte will go with a more conservative role. I think he'll go with Winks, but I don't think that's the best idea.
No. Before I go to Jacob, obviously, thank you everyone who's tuning in so far. Don't forget to put your comments in for the lads, get your questions in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. The more the better. It is literally just Tottenham talk. So one week you could get depression and anger. Next week you could get joy and love. Very rare, that is, Alan. So Kirst, I hope you're on the phone watching Alan's facial expressions early on. But Jacob, I'll go with you for this one. Obviously, like I said, me and Alan on Monday were on Coys.com podcast, and we were both asked the question of Conte's formation in the future. Obviously, he's gonna have the three at the back.
Mm-hmm.
But do you see him going more attacking? Do you see him sticking with Højbjerg and Skip, or do you see him going for a Højbjerg and Ndombele or a Højbjerg and Dele Alli and telling him to push further up the pitch?
I think for the time being, he'll just stick with Skip and Højbjerg because, you got to think he's getting paid to do that. So he's seeing these guys week in, week out. But you know, he's probably thinking the same thing as we are. You know, it's like realistically, if Conte was given 300 million, would any of these guys play? You know, would he replace Skip? Would he replace Lo Celso? Would he replace Ndombele? He'd probably replaced a lot of them if he was given a war chest. You know, the only person, even Højbjerg, everybody's talking about him being a little bit don't know with Conte. So I think he'll stick with the two just for security because the squad isn't great. You know, there isn't a lineup that we can all comfortably say that that's the lineup and we're going to go and win games. We're just naming lineups based off that's the best that we've got, rather than saying put that lineup out and we'll go and beat Man United, we'll go and beat Man City, we'll go and beat Liverpool, we'll go and beat anybody. You know, it's not great. It's not a great lineup. It's probably one of the worst lineups we've had for a good 5-10 years now. So, you know, if we were all coaches, you'd stick with something that's secure right now because there's a lot of players that probably aren't up to scratch. So I'd stick with those two. And Dembele has proved that even with a back three, he can't be trusted because I remember Mourinho playing a back three a couple of times just to accommodate for him to play with Højbjerg, and there were still gaps in midfield somehow. So as much, you know, and Dembele's got a lot to do now because if you play for Mourinho, who's a world-class manager, and he didn't like you, and now you're playing for Conte, who's a world-class manager in the next generation sort of thing. So there's a lot of players that I think Conte will look at, and if they don't step their game up, they're not going to play. But at the minute, I don't blame Conte for playing it safe. You know, just play everybody. You know, if he's going to play the three at the back, the wing backs, the two centre midfielders, you know, if you chose 3 forwards, you're going to obviously choose Harry Kane, Son, and Moira. So effectively, the lineup that he put up against Everton is what, one, we all would put down on paper ourselves, and two, there's not anybody around that pushing for position in that team. What's happening there?
Don't mind the camera, boys. It is a shoddy camera that likes to fall off when it does. But I will ask you in the darkness, Mark, like I am.
I thought I said something wrong then.
I will ask you like I'm Batman waiting in the wings, Mark. How would you line up? Obviously, we're going to talk about Leeds a little later on, but going into the Leeds game with the Skip suspension, would you rather see us go with an Ndombele, Lo Celso or Dele Alli? Or would you rather see us, like Alan predicts, a Harry Winks in there, just someone who will sit next to Højbjerg and move the ball side to side and backwards, and a player like that?
What I want and what I think will happen, I think will be two different things. What I'd like to see is more attacking, because I don't think going forward, Skippy and Højbjerg will play together. Not, I don't mean for the next 8 games, but come past January when we do get another kind of transfer window, I don't see those two playing together because I think they really don't complement each other. It's too defensive. What I'd like to see is, I'm torn between Ndombele or Dele. For me, Lo Celso is kind of just, after watching him take that corner, I know he struck the bar and everything, but after that corner, he just needs to sit down and reevaluate. I'd like to, it's a difficult one. I'd like to give Dele a bit of a go. Under Conte, I'd like to see what Conte can do to him and do for him. And I read somewhere today, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the sports scientists are saying that Ndombele is the fittest he's been in the last 3.5 years at Spurs, or 3 years at Spurs. But yet last week, I don't think he survived 84 minutes or something. He had to come off because he looked knackered. So what I would like to see is more attacking. So keep Højbjerg, play our 3 defensive. I'd like to take Ben Davies out and give Joe Rodon a run. To be fair, and I think the only reason at the moment, like Jacob says, maybe a little bit safer, the reason why he plays Ben Davies is because he's left-footed, and we don't have a left foot. And, if you're going to play Sergio Reguilon, he's playing as a wing back as left foot. So, I'd like him to put Ndombele or Dele Alli there. You know, even maybe take Lucas out and put Dele Alli in and play Dele Alli, Sonny, and Kane, and then have Ndombele and then Højbjerg. But then maybe we too offensive and and not defensive enough. So yeah, but I think like with Allen, he might just play safe for that and go with Winks, you know, and just kind of like for like. But Conte doesn't strike me like that. Conte strikes me. He doesn't strike me as a safe man. He wants to win every game, I think. So I think he might just push ahead. And it depends what he gets out of the lads over the last. I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures on Twitter, but he's not just like meek and mild scratching his beard, is he? On the thing, some of the pictures I'm seeing coming out of the thing, it's like you can even see the veins on his forehead.
He's going wild, isn't he?
Yeah, which is great. So you know, I think the players will start to get the message quite quickly. So people like Dele Alli, Harry Winks, and people like that aren't going in international duty, you never know. These guys, you know, clearly Kane's off the ketchup already because you know, look how he performed tonight. So he's not having any ketchup or mayonnaise. So you don't know, you know. But yeah, I would like to go more offensive.
Look at Alan.
You know?
Oh God, Alan, you've got to stop.
You got to remember, Kirsty's recording, mate.
Did he just roll his eyes?
Yeah, that's another gift asking for it.
Kirst, tell me in the comments.
On,
just put it in the comments. Did you? I need to know if you got that or not because the man does not. He just does it. I don't even think he knows when he's doing it anymore.
I don't.
It's a natural response.
Oh, Alan. Oh, right. While I wait for Kirst's response, Alan, I'm going to ask each of you now, just before I move on to Antonio Conte during the international break. Alan, during the Everton game, did any player stand out to you? Did any player stamp his authority under the new Conte era that we've got?
I thought you saw Royal play. For me, he's getting. It's not like he's becoming world class in a couple of weeks, but he seems to be told now to get forward, take people on. When he was like really reserved, said that against against the test. You know, in that one game I saw it, and it seems to be happening. I know it's the formation that Conte plays, but before with Nuno, Emerson Royal was just turning back the entire time. He weren't taking anyone. He weren't trying to get ahead of the defence or anything like that. He was doing nothing like that. So I think he's benefiting massively from it. Apart from that, I didn't see anyone else really have a standout game. You know, people done, you know, a couple of decent performances. One of the worst performances for me were, I think Højbjerg wasn't too good. I'll be honest. I think he didn't have a good game. But the worst for me by a mile was Harry Kane. In 90 minutes, I remember a cross to Reguilon at the back post as his highlight. That's not good enough. So yeah, I'd say for me, the only decent performance that I thought was like the best out of the lot was for Royal.
I thought Sonny was poor as well. And
he was.
When you got Kane and Sonny together, poor, and these are two world class when they not perform.
Yeah, I had to go for. Oh, for God's sake! I had to go for the reason why I picked both Royal and Kane is because for me Royal was the best and Kane was the worst. I know Son wasn't too good. Højbjerg and then Lo Celso that corner, I completely agree. There was other bits and like in there, but for me he was the best. Royal was the best and Kane was the worst.
Yeah, I agree. Royal was very good. I think he's starting to look quite good, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is at that right wing back. Jacob, is Emerson the same for you, or did anybody else catch the eye against Everton?
Yeah, you know, I like Emerson Royal because it's like what people forget in football is that you always need a steady Eddie. You always need somebody who's going to give you a 7 out of 10 every game. So you've got, for instance, remember like United, for instance, they used to win all these trebles and loads of cups under Fergie. And then if you say to a United fan when Fergie was doing all that, who are your top players? You got Scholes, there'll be Rooney, Ronaldo. But you never hear anybody talking about a Gary Neville. But if you mention Gary Neville, they're like, "Oh yeah, he was important because he was a 7 out of 10. He literally did the same thing week in, week out." So if Man United beat Wigan 7-0, Gary Neville got a 7 out of 10. But if Man United lost 2-0 to Wigan, Gary Neville got a 7 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you do need players like that you can at least rely on, because at the minute it doesn't feel like we've got too many to rely on. You'd think you can rely on Harry Kane. He's been terrible. You'd be like, right, Son, terrible. You know, Lucas Moura we've relied on, and as much as I like his endeavour, the end product's not really there. He's not getting the goals or assists. So it's nice to have like Emerson Royal that's just come from a different country. We haven't had to worry about him settling in and understanding the English. He probably doesn't even speak English, but he just comes across like we bought him from Crystal Palace because he's lived in London for 5 years. So I'm happy with him. If I'm gonna, apart from that, I wasn't really looking at performances, but I'll give a shout out to Hugo Lloris, because Hugo Lloris, you know, at first I thought it was a penalty, wasn't a penalty, and over the course of the season, he's been somebody that we've relied on. You know, there's been times where, you know, when we lost to United, we could have got beaten more but if it wasn't for him. So I think in the grand scheme of things, even though Tottenham ain't doing great, Hugo Lloris has actually kept it to bad rather than being absolutely horrific like what De Gea is doing at United. So I'll shout out Emerson Royal for that game, but I'll shout out Lloris for the whole season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. Lloris has been.
I
think he always is. I always think he's very, very consistent. He does have the odd howler.
He's had his moments. He has his mares, but it's like because we've been out there shouting out how bad he's been. I feel that we should commend him for what he's done for the last for the season. You know what I mean? Because
definitely our player of the season. Definitely,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Jacobs just been talking about it. Obviously, we're not a successful club like Man U. We're not winning trophies and that lot. But what Man U always had in their squad were the Gary Nevilles, were the Park Ji-sungs, were the Darren Fletchers, like Jacob said. The 7 out of 10 players that would always do something for you in a game, would always put in that cross, would always put in that tackle. Do you think that's what Conte wants out of our lads now? Like you said, he's got the international break. He hasn't got the full squad, but he's got the Dele Alli's, the Sergio Reguilons, Steven Bergwijn's, Lucas Moura's, players like that. Do you think that's what he's putting into this player system now?
Yeah, I listen. I a fly on the wall after they came in. After Lo Celso took that corner, I really would. I'd love to be on the fly wall to see if he just went up to the guy and just went, you know, what were you thinking, pal? You know, what were you thinking? Like, you know, I think the guys are running crazy. I also heard a thing that he sent them with kind of the international guys. He sent them with a plan that they've got to do besides on the international duty. They've got to do extra stuff. So it'd be interesting to see when these guys come back as well. What do they have? I think England finish on Monday, and then Harry Kane's back Tuesday. I think some of the not Belgium guys, the Wales, all them. I think their last game is on Tuesday. I think Tuesday night is Argentina, so they'll fly back Wednesday and maybe get to training on Thursday. So they'll have 2 or 3 days where they can train. I think fitness is a big thing for him. You know, what's he got? 6 fitness coaches. Mm-hmm. You know, 1 for each player. It's going to be difficult. A month at least. I just read somewhere as well tonight. God, I've been reading so much tonight. Apparently, we can spend 400 million before.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And I saw Everton only can spend another. Is it 35 million, and then they hit the financial fair play. So, I think we're in a strong position. And we go back to last week when we were talking about Conte. I don't think Conte is coming without certain assurances. Now, I know we all go Daniel Levy. He'll promise you something and won't give you something, but there has to be something there. You know, you don't get a manager of this ilk coming to your club without something. So I think he's got to give the guys a chance to January to see if he can work with them and see if there are a couple of gems in those, a couple of diamonds in those lumps of coals that we have. And I think the lads are right. He'll try a few. And if they don't work out come January, I think he's got his picks that he wants, and he'll get rid of them. And I think he's ruthless that way. He's not a hoarder, is he? Some people like to hoard and they give them another season. He'll just say to Paratici, listen, not for us, let him go. And they'll bring other players in, and I think there'll be money for him. I'm hearing 100, 150 million. I don't know. I'm not in the club, but I'm hearing it. Let's see. But things will change. I think he will give people like Dele Alli a go. I think he'll give Harry Winks a go, although we all think Harry Winks stinks. But he'll give him a go. And you just don't know. The guy might flourish underneath him. You never know.
Yeah.
Look, who thought Victor Moses was going to become this incredible player under him? So, God, this guy might be the greatest manager on the planet. And we'll be sitting here in 2 seasons' time when we maybe have won something. I don't know. Yeah.
The question is, Mark, have you seen his contract?
Sorry, I just wanted to go back to what you guys were saying when we said now that thing is out. I read somewhere that what about Dyer coming into the middle and then maybe putting Rodon? So you're playing Davis, Rodon, and Romero or Sanchez, and then putting Dyer where Thingy sits. I read somewhere. And I thought, whoa, because when Dyer first came, didn't he play centre?
Yeah, he did, but I think Dyer's better sat in the stands to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. But listen, that's why Conte's on 15 million and we on what, 100,000 a year? So
Dyer originally came in as a right back, didn't he? And then he got put in the centre defensive midfield position, and then got dropped to centre back. So I agree, he should be left back in the changing room while like everyone else is doing their business.
The thing is, though, with Dyer, it's one of the ones you could have him as a squad player. Like for instance, right now, if Conte had the squad for a year and a half with Daniel Levy's backed him, and Dyer's ready to say that if we're let's imagine we got top 4, top 6, and Dyer's playing in the Europa League, and he says to himself, "You know what? I'm going to commit to Tottenham, play in the Europa League, and if there's any injuries, I'll play in the Premier League." Or he's happy to play Europa League, FA Cup, League Cup, and if there's any injuries in the Premier League, I'll step up. I don't mind Dyer in that, but it's like we can't rely on him because he wouldn't even looking at the top 10 sides in the league, which includes us. Name a club in the top 10, right? And I'm including West Ham, Everton, Leicester. If Eric Dyer said, "I want to leave Tottenham right now," would any of those 3 clubs that I just mentioned say, "Yeah, we'll take him"? David Moyes. Right? David Moyes has got Bonner, and he's got who's he got? Craig Dawson, and he's got another centre half. I'm trying to think who it is now. My mind's gone blank. But I don't think he would take them out the side for Eric Dyer. Leicester, they've got Soyuncu
and Evans. No.
Yeah, and Johnny Evans, Everton have got Michael and Mina.
If you're selling him for 20 million, I think they'd snap your hand off.
No, but the thing is, though, taking him in as a player,
150 million for him.
You got a good point.
And I said, what Jacob's saying is they wouldn't buy him to start. They'd probably buy him as a squad player. It was that cheap. He would make it a start lineup.
I think they would buy him because I think. I think Leicester or West Ham, I think he would do a decent job. I think but
it's only as a sub or something like that. They wouldn't put him in the first team. And he's in our first team. That's the problem.
Listen, he would have last year for West Ham, or the year before for West Ham, or the year before when they weren't.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, not now.
So it's difficult, Don't do
West Ham discredit. West Ham were better than us last season as well. He wouldn't have got in last season either. It was only before they started, before
David Moyes came in.
Yeah,
only the last 18 months really that West Ham have kind of stepped up.
Yeah, as much as West Ham are our rivals, I'm
not saying he will put them there. I'm just saying, who does he trust more? Does he trust like Conte? If the crunch came down to it, does he trust Eric Dyer more, or does he trust Harry Winks more? And that's where I think for a one-off game, Conte might look at it. And that was just an article I read. And I stopped and I paused, and it's food for thought.
Conte likes a defensive base. I don't think he'll mess about with it too much.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, but remember, he has got Sanchez. Sanchez played well the other game, didn't he? When he came on.
One player that's forgotten about is Tanganga. Like I'm still waiting for Tanganga to be played centre half, because that game, the first time I heard him, well, not heard him, the first time he played in a Premier League game was against Liverpool, and I remember sat there with my cousin who's a Scouser. I was just like, why the hell are we playing Tanganga? And he had a stormer of a game, and he was brilliant, and he was centre half. So it's like we've seen him play right back, and he does a good job because he's quick and he's
powerful,
keen and he's powerful. Yeah, but I've always said I wouldn't trust him in the 2, but I'll definitely trust him in the 3. So in my mind, it's like if you had Romero in the sweeper role, you had Tanganga one side, and then it's up to you who you want to go on the left side, and it'd probably be Dyer. I think that would work well because that's a relatively quick back 3. You've got some, and then if Tanganga makes a mistake through youth and Dyer makes a mistake through what he's known for doing, at least you've got somebody that's a world-class centre half that can mop up between the 3 of them. So
could you imagine Skriniar, Tanganga, Romero?
I can imagine it, but we're going to end up with Brian Nielsen will probably come out of retirement and we'll have him again.
No, but could you imagine? Well, listen, there's talk about Skriniar and he,
Kyrgios.
Can you imagine those 2 and then Tanganga in the middle? How good would that be?
That's a very good
player, I'm telling you.
It's a very good segue, that is, Mark. I don't know if you mean to do these, but you are classic at moving us on to the next subject. So, Alan.
Mark's the guy, man.
No,
I'm giving you one player, Alan. One player that Conte would like to sign that you personally, Alan R. Clark, the GIF master, the most cheerful Tottenham fan you could ever meet.
The GIF that keeps on gifting.
God's sake.
Who would you like to see us go all guns out for in January to bring into our club, who you could see making some type of difference in this side?
I would go for Vlahovic.
Okay, Vlahovic, yes.
Because
a one as well, yeah.
Because for me, and it segues into a thing that Kane might have done it for England, but it shows that when he wants to play, he can show up, which now shows to me that he doesn't want to be at Spurs. So I hope Man City come in with a decent offer, get rid of him in January, buy in youth and all that, and we build for a better future. Because Kane, thanks for all the memories, you've done really good and all that, but you don't want to be there anymore, so he can go. The only way he can change my mind if he comes back and puts in performance after performance like he did for England tonight for Spurs, because that's the only way he will change my mind that he wants to be there under Conte like he claimed, because he claimed that he wants to be under Conte and that Everton performance was shocking. So for me, he doesn't want to be at Spurs. We should just cash in on him. For me, he has down tools because at Spurs, there's not been one performance halfway decent to what it was for the England performance tonight. So, yeah, I would bring in Vlahovic because for me, I've seen him. He's predominantly left-footed, but he can finish with both feet and he's good in the air as well. He can score with his head as well. So, and he's young, so it gives you time to build with him for the future. If you're redeveloping this team, you need to buy young who are good that can improve the team to begin with. And so, I haven't seen it with Kane this season. Like I said, I think he wants to go, so we just make the decision now and get rid.
Yeah, no, I agree. Obviously, he is. Vlahovic is a realistic signing. Obviously, the news makes it sweeter that obviously you read from the Di Marzio from the Italian Sky Sports that his agent has ignored Arsenal's calls during the week. So that is the type of player that we should be looking at. But obviously, before I go to Jacob, we've got people watching on YouTube, people watching on Twitch. So don't forget to subscribe, like the channel, tell us what you really think of Alan. We will hear those comments.
What?
Yeah. But I'll move on. I apologise.
That's fine.
I'm very sorry.
Jacob,
Jacob, same for you, mate. If there's one player realistically that you feel like Tottenham Hotspur Football Club could go out to in January, bring him in, that Conte would be happy for and could make a change to this side, who do you think it is?
I wouldn't go as far as a player, but I'd go as far as raiding a club. So, at the minute, you look at Leicester. Leicester for the last 3 years have been a club that what they've been doing is what you'd expect Tottenham to do. You know, being on the cusp of challenging for top four, getting there, and winning an FA Cup. And at the minute, they're in a bit of a limbo. You know, Brendan Rodgers, it comes across like if he isn't backed, and then all of a sudden they're struggling to get anywhere near the top four. All of a sudden, you start looking for a new club, and then there's players at Leicester. You're looking at them thinking they might be thinking that they're better than Leicester, want to carry on playing Champions League. So, you know, if Conte's there and you want to go and raid the club, I'd say Leicester, because you look at Ndidi and Tielemans, for instance. If you went and bought them two for 100 million, does that improve our team straight away? Of course it does, because all these conversations we've had around lineups has been, you know, who plays with Højbjerg? Is it Skip? Is it Winks? Is it Ndombele? Is it Lo Celso? In hindsight, all the players that I've just forementioned, bar Højbjerg, get rid of all of them and bring in Ndidi, Tielemans, and who else have they got in midfield? Someone even like a Harvey Barnes, for instance. That improves Tottenham straight away. But then I don't think he'll go down that route. But if I was going to be honest, if there's one player that I would take, it would be Wilfred Ndidi, because I look at him and think he hasn't signed a new deal. I think you could go and get him from Leicester for 50 million. And as much as I like Højbjerg, he's a better player than him, and he's younger. So I'd go with Wilfred Ndidi or Tielemans, one of those two, because I think them two as a pivot in midfield is arguably one of the best pairings in the Premier League, even though somehow they're 12. So I'd go with one of the. If you said to me, pick one, I'd just put it out of a hat, either one of them.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Jacobs got a good point there. Obviously, Conte, you would imagine, would try and raid the Italian league, the league he knows best, the players he knows best. Like you say, obviously heavily linked to Frank Kessie in the summer, whether it's buy him then or get him for free in the summer. Would you agree with Jacob's method? Do you think it's best for us to stick to Premier League players now, get them in January who know the league, who are used to Premier League style, rather than a player from the Italian league who could take till April to get used to the football?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if I was him, I'd go get Van Dijk and Salah now. You know, let's stop messing around. You know, why? You know, come on. If we're going to do 500 million for that, yeah, let's do it properly. Yeah, no, you look. My biggest worry at the moment is, you know, we were talking earlier, saying from a season point of view, we think Hugo's been our best player. Well, I say our best player. He's been our most consistent. He's stepped up his game. He's in his last year. You know, come summer, he's finished.
That's it. Yeah.
Not hearing anything about new deals and everything. So, you know, that's a worry for me. So, you know, I'll be honest. I don't want Galini being our number one. I don't think he's ready to be number one. Do you, lads? So, you know, either Hugo signs or we need to go and get Alisson. You know, really, you know, spend some of this 400 million. No, look, seriously, we need to tie down, even if it's just 2 years or even if it's 18 months, whatever. But I think we need to go replace people like Eriksen and Dembele. You know, that's where we haven't replaced over the last 3-4 years. We need a proper playmaker. And I know we've got Lo Celso and we've got Ndombele. They've had 2-3 years. They've done nothing. But we need another Eriksen. We need another kind of Dembele. And they're not cheap, are they? They're really not cheap. So I'm sure Conte's got his eyes on people, and I'm sure they're working behind the scenes already. What we got? 8 weeks, 10 weeks before the January transfer window. What's it till New Year now? 8 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
6 weeks, you know. So, yeah, I'm sure they're working behind the scenes, unless somebody like Dele Alli or somebody really comes good.
I'll ask you a question, if you ask, right, Mark. Right, so you know, like we're all culpable of it as a Spurs fan, all football fans, of saying we need another Dembele, we need another Eriksen. But I just think you just need a manager that has a philosophy. Because, you know, for instance, my cousin, he supports Liverpool. I'm always going to refer to him. And I've got friends that support United. I've got friends that support Arsenal. So they've all been culpable of saying we need somebody. We need another Vieira. We need another Gerrard. We need another Scholes. We need another Lampard. It's like I get what it is, but I think that a lot of fans. I've done it before myself, but I think we just need to let go for the fact that we've just had players like that. It's been unfortunate that it hasn't materialised, and we just need a manager that can have a setup that allows for players to thrive in that. So imagine, for instance, Conte smashes it. We go and win trophies, and Emerson Royal is the best right back in the Premier League. Then it's like, in 10 years' time, we'll start going, oh, we need another Emerson Royal. It's just the only reason why we've had those players, one, because they're special, but two, the managers put them into the right system. So much as I agree with you, I'd love another Dembele. Of course I would. He's probably my favourite. He's definitely my top 3 ever. But, we all know you're not going to get that. So I'd just rather have a Conte that's just going to do better than any other manager that I've seen.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Daniel Levy would agree with you. He's hoping he turns Harry Winks, Dele Alli, and all these people into the next best thing, isn't he? So then he saves money. So, but yeah, if anybody's going to do it, and a lot of people are saying, if Conte can't turn these people into kind of world beaters, then there's no manager on the planet that can. Then it is last saloons for a lot of these players, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And you'll see them dropping down the leagues. They'll go play for like a Norwich and places like that.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't football related, but Nipun's got a quick question for Mark. Obviously, listening to him.
No, I'm not South African. I'm English. I grew up in South Africa, but I'm English.
There you go.
I went there when I was 7 years old, so I am English. But yeah, I grew up in Cape Town.
Yeah,
so that's a good question, Mark. So you've got that accent, even though you moved from South Africa when you were 7.
Yeah, so they do that's say where you. Well, no, they say where you do your schooling and your formative years is where your accent will be. So
of course,
if you were born in London but you grew up and you went to school in the north, you'll have more of a northern accent. Although you grew up, although you were born in London. So, I was born in Boston, Lincolnshire, of all places.
I mean, does that not tell us everything that Mark's being asked the geography questions? Does that not show that Mark is the outstanding member of the panel when he's being asked personal questions? Right, before we go, gentlemen, it's 47 minutes gone. It is that time. Obviously, Jacob is currently in the lead. Yeah. Only by a point, no. He's only leading by a point. Whether you believe him or not, he keeps saying, I got this right. I got that right.
I got the last few results right, mate.
It only counts about what's said on here, Jacob.
What is the scores?
I got West Ham. West Ham will win by a goal. I said United will beat us 3-0. And I said we'll draw with Everton.
But West Ham will win by a goal. That could be 4-3 to West Ham. No, I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter though. I actually said 1-0 West Ham. So I said 2-1 West Ham.
What's said on here, Jacob?
It is currently Jacob's on 2, Alan, Mark, and Kirst are all on 1. The gracious host that I am is starting on 0, playing catch up purposely, as you do. So let's get in to the Leeds game. Alan, how do you see this game going?
I always come to I'll lead by example. It's fine. I'm going to say 2-1 Spurs. I think Leeds. I don't know if Bamford's back. I know Rafinha's back. Bamford may be back. So I think they'll cause us problems. They'll score. But I think this will be the game finally where Conte, with an extra game with the people he's working with who may feature in the team, in the background. I think, he's going to get a lot out of them. I think this will be the first win of his reign in the Premier League. But it'll be a very tight game because Leeds are getting better each week. So I think they're going to cause us a couple of problems. So I'll say a 2-1 Spurs.
Very nice. Fingers crossed. Jacob, the almighty Jacob, the oracle that is Jacob. How do you see this? How do you see this game going?
It's strange because all day I've been thinking about this, and I actually said the same thing as Alan. I thought, but I think because Harry Kane's got a bit of confidence in him after tonight's England game, I think it'll still be a cagey game because the thing with Leeds, they're so, you know what's coming. They're just going to throw everything at the pump, and you know Leeds are the sort of team that they can be losing 7-0 and they still keep coming forward. So we all know that if there's a player or there's a team that are on bad form, haven't scored, Tottenham are the team to play against to just put that to bed. So I think it'd be a cagey game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1-1, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 and 2-1, and I reckon Sonny will score the winner. But it'd be one of those ones where I generally feel that Leeds, if they took their chances, would have got a draw. So
Jacob, just so you know, because you've gone with a 2-1, because you also mentioned 1-1, you don't get the point.
No, no,
the 2-1. Just to make sure.
I don't give two scores.
You can't pick 3 or 4 results and then claim afterwards. It's one of them.
I'm going to go 2-2, maybe 4-3, maybe 6-0,
exactly.
maybe 1-0.
No, I've got
2-1, you get a point for.
I've got so many mates here that will say about 8 scores. They're like, "Told you, Jake," and I'm like, "Bruv, you said about 10 things all week."
Looks like it's rubbing off on you. Looks like it's rubbing off on you.
No, I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to say 2-1, but I'm saying as a personal one. I'm not saying it to put it into the league. I'm going to say I wouldn't be surprised if it's 1-1 because we support Tottenham.
Well, obviously, just to answer before I go to Mark, Nipoon's asked where the game's at. It is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We are at home. I believe it's a 4:30 kickoff on the Sunday. Sky Sports, it will be on. Although he is not involved in the predictions, he's going for 3-2 Tottenham, which sounds like an excellent game. Just bear with me a minute, please. I've got a lovely gif of Alan on my phone as we speak. Thank you very much, Kirst. Thank you very much.
This ain't right.
But, like I say, I've asked Kirst for a prediction. She's a bit behind on the stream. She had to stop to take care of her illness, as we will say live on the stream. But Mark,
let's move on.
Yes, we will. Yes, Neil positive. Mark, tell us. We've had 2-2-1 wins so far. So what are you going for?
I think he's going to go more attacking. I think without Skippy, I think he'll go a little bit more attacking. I'm trying to be positive about Kane today. I think, you could see the way Kane played today. I think if he comes back rejuvenated, I think if Sonny can find a little bit of thing. Do you know what? I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to go 4-1. I think because we're at home, we've got the crowd. I think Conte spent 12 days now with some of the other players. I think they could be a little bit fitter. Look, let's not kid ourselves. Leeds are very fit, aren't they? That Bielsa, he runs them into the ground, so they're quite fit. I just think if they come out like Albania did to England, I think we take them apart. I think we counter-attack. So yeah, I think we're going to go 4-1.
4-1. We haven't had a shot on target in like 2.5 games. Would you think this is London buses? Seriously, bloody hell. 4-1.
6:30, 6:45. Let's talk again. 4-1.
What makes me laugh about. Go.
And if we get it, do I get an extra 10 points just for that prediction?
That's a bit greedy.
Greedy. Oh, you know what makes me laugh about Mark here is that we'll do this show, and he'll say 4-1, and then I'll have the game on the telly.
And on the WhatsApp.
I'm on my phone going,
how do they pass?
Vibrating, and I'm thinking, that must be the group, man. But it's literally Mark said about 10 things. The passing, this Harry Kane, he's going mad. And I'm like, you're the one who said it was going to be 4-1.
Yeah, because I'm trying to be positive.
No, I'm not cussing you. I'm saying I'll get you.
After watching him tonight, if he comes back tonight and we play on the front foot, and Leeds, they will come at you all the time. Whether they're 5-0 down, they'll still come at you. Like Albania tonight, they weren't learning their lesson, were they?
Do you remember the fixture last season where we was under Mourinho and our football was completely pragmatic, and we literally didn't have to do anything, but we could have beat them 7-0, even though it was 3-0. Do you know what I mean? It was just literally, they kept coming forward. We won a tackle. Højbjerg picked it up, passed it to Harry Kane. Harry Kane would be like, where you at, Sonny? And it was just so easy, even though we had like 40% possession. It was mad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Kirst here is calling out Mark for asking for extra points. That is because Kirst has given us a prediction, which is 3-1 to Spurs. And obviously, she's a part of the show. She loves the show. But this is a bit like the Avengers Assemble of a group here. I've assembled the best Spurs talkers that I could possibly find in Jacob, Mark, and Kirst. Alan is just here for the ride. Sorry,
I thought I'm going HR fan. This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry, Alan. I do apologise.
I'd call HR Alan.
Oh, well, I am.
There is no
I'll have to start
HR.
sticking up for Alan, man, because Alan's my fellow Medway boy. So I'm getting to the point now where I'm making it a statement that if you keep giving it to Alan, yeah, I'm his bouncer.
Yeah, there we go.
Right,
That
so
is absolutely fine, Jacob. Goodbye.
Wow.
that was weird because I wasn't expecting that for a change. I was just like, what have I gone, man?
Oh God, the power's getting to me. Don't worry,
Yes,
I
it
do.
is.
I do
What do you mean
apologise.
What do you mean getting to you? It's already got to you.
So
Yeah,
what are you
Alan,
doing,
they don't
Alan?
understand where we're from, do we? We need to take them out in Medway one week, and then you'll understand that you can't mess around with us, man.
Hey, listen, I don't get power in my own home. I have a wife and 2 daughters. This is where I get my power with the click of a laptop button. Right, so we've had all the predictions. My prediction is a 2-0 Tottenham win. I think we'll keep another clean sheet. I think he'll go for an Ndombele instead of Winks in the middle. I think we will see 2 Harry Kane goals against Leeds.
That's the best joke of the night. There you go.
I do. I'm sorry, Alan. It's just one of those. I'm not saying that he's back. I'm not saying that he's back in form. But the amount of space that Leeds leave in any game, he will have so much space. And if he plays under Conte like he did tonight, under a Gareth Southgate of all people, where he probably had the most touches in an opposition box tonight than he has had all season. I'm not saying Leeds are Albania or that level, but if he is there, if he is someone that you can literally, if Emerson or Reguilon have the ball out wide and look up and see a Harry Kane in the box, they will put that ball in that box. It's no good seeing a Son in the middle on his own because we're going to turn back if he's there on his own. If you see a Harry Kane in the middle, you will put that ball in. He does know where to find the space. And I need the points. I want to treat myself at the end of the season. I don't want to treat none of you.
Why do you need the points? I thought you were giving everyone a head start. You don't need the points if you're going to come back later on. You don't need them.
Well, yeah, this is where I come back, Alan.
This early in the season?
Of course, yes.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Definitely. I ain't told my wife about this prize yet. I need to win, Alan.
To be honest, though, although it was England, I was on the phone to my cousin, and it was like, when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's like Tottenham playing Barnsley and Harry Kane scoring a hat-trick. You'd be happy that he scored a hat-trick, but you'd be like, it was Barnsley. But it's refreshing to see at least him as a player doing that. So you just hope that he can go to sleep tonight and think, right, I need to put that forward.
He looks hungry tonight.
No, because he was playing for England, because he wants to play for England. He doesn't want to be at Spurs. That's why he's given.
No, England's team, yeah, is better than Tottenham.
Okay, but look at the stats he was putting up last season when we were awful too. That doesn't float. No, I'm sorry. Let's not make
We
excuses.
weren't awful, though. We had a better manager.
Huh?
We
What?
had a better manager.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter that we had a better manager under Mourinho. Mourinho wasn't that
It
good.
does.
Manager.
If
He
you got a
still
better
was.
manager,
Harry Kane does not want to be there, Jacob.
we
Let's
had
be
a better
honest.
manager.
Doesn't
Come
want
on,
to be
man.
there. No.
The reason why he wanted to play for Mourinho, because as much as it was dead football, he thought if I just listen, we could win something. You go and play for Nuno. Nuno's
Then
like,
that shows that.
I've got it sorted,
But
but I nearly got Wolves relegated.
But then that shows the type of person he is as well. If he's decided to down tools under Nuno, but then try and apparently he wants to play for Conte, but still put up an abysmal performance, that shows the type of person he is. So he's not Mr. Tottenham. It's all about himself.
Yeah, I'll give you an example then. So imagine you're at your job now, yeah? You've got a manager that you respect. You've worked under him for 5 years, and he's like, Alan, he promotes you in every sort of which way. He's looking out for you financially, and then he's sorting out you, your family, your kids, whatever, right? You wake up in the morning, he's got the sack, and then another manager comes in, it's a dickhead. Are you going to sit there and work for a dickhead, even though he's treating you like a dickhead?
And I've had this thrown at me. No,
you're not.
And I'll give the same answer I do all the time. What happens to other people in a workplace doesn't affect my output and my work thing. I always work my ass off regardless. So I don't care who comes in. Harry Kane, these are people are entitled. Harry Kane gets 200, 250 grand with £1 million endorsements, all that. So for me, this whole thing, because a manager comes in you don't like, you're going to down tools. No, I've said about all other players that have ever done it before. No excuses. I'm sorry. You earn that amount of money and all that. You work your backside off. If you don't want to work your backside off, then leave the club. He wants to leave. Let's get rid of him.
Imagine, right? You're in an office and you're working your socks off. Don't get it twisted. But it gets to the point where you, under your previous manager, everything that's worked between you and that manager, the company succeeded. All of a sudden, the company is plummeting. The company's losing money. The pressure's on you, Alan.
Yeah.
But then you're saying to your manager, come on, I think we should do it this way because this is what we was doing before and this is where I succeeded. And your new manager's saying to you, no, shut up, Alan.
Okay.
We're going to do it this way. But then
hold on.
If you're doing it a different way, you're not performing. So you're
can't in isolation. We were plummeting under Mourinho. So the previous manager, if
Mourinho was here for another week, we'd have won a cup.
Maybe that's hypothetically never happened. Maybe.
Yeah, but he's more than likely than Ryan Mason.
No, you can't say more. Okay, maybe better than Mason because Mason's first game, but you can't say because it didn't happen. So we could throw all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas out the window because it didn't happen. So it doesn't matter if he got to a final. He didn't get a chance to take that. So it doesn't matter if we would have won or we could have won under Mourinho because he wasn't there. So we need to get past that because it just didn't happen. We can't keep going back to.
For me, it's I'm just saying it in the fact that I've worked under a manager that it's like, yeah, Jake, this, and like it gets to the point where even I'm at home having a beer with my dinner, I'm like, yeah, you know what? When I get to work tomorrow, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. As soon as I've worked for a manager that's a prick, I don't do that.
So how comes other players can do it and Harry Kane can't then?
Which players are doing it?
Which players are doing it?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What under?
Which players are doing well? Harry Kane's doing bad.
Hold on. Harry Kane. The drop off from Kane under Nuno, by none, it was the worst out of everyone. The way he was performing and all that, you still had people showing up and scoring goals, keeping clean sheets and all that. So although it wasn't 10 out of 10, 11 out of 11 performances, or 11 out of 10 performances by players, they were still performing to a standard that was far superior to Harry Kane. And it's no coincidence that we won the first 3 games. And then Harry Kane comes back into the team, and that's when we go downhill because of his attitude.
What I'm saying, so you think Nuno got the chop because Harry Kane didn't play well?
No, Nuno got the chop because of himself as well, but Harry Kane had a massive impact on that as well.
Because
Nuno caused him problems because he didn't have the balls to drop Kane.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is Harry Kane, he's set himself at such a high standard, right? So obviously he's our best player. So when Tottenham aren't doing well, everybody's going to blame the best player, especially when his standards drop. But realistically, Nuno got the chop because everybody was shit.
Yeah, no, and I'm saying that Nuno got the chop because loads of people didn't perform. But I'm sorry, you can't sit here and say that Harry Kane has not been abysmal this season and shown lack of interest, and he's had the stroppiness because I don't want to be here. I was robbed of going to Man City. I'm sorry. I
agree with you.
Kane's been abysmal.
I agree with you, but I'm saying it to an extent. So I got to fit. When the transfer window shut, at that point he was sulking because we was all in the. And
it still comes across that he is on the pitch.
He's not continuing to sulk. After a little while, you do realise that even if Harry Kane wanted to try it, who's going to set him up to score goals in this team?
But then we're just making allowances. Now you're starting to sound like Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans last season, we've got all the creative people. We don't have anyone to put it away. They get Lukaku in to get goals away. Now all of a sudden they can't create. So they flip and flop. No, we can't do that as a fan base. Harry Kane doesn't want to be there. We've got to get rid of him. It's as simple as that.
No, but what it is, I'll give an example. So imagine if you're Harry Kane, yeah, and put your office mind on. So imagine you're Harry Kane last season. Forget how much money he's getting paid. Last season, he scored the most goals to set him up. So it's like, how much work is he doing? He's doing everything. But then it gets to the point where he's doing everything because of a manager that he believed in. And then all of a sudden, you get rid of the manager that you believe in a week before a trophy, which you're starved of. And then you give Ryan Mason, who realistically, you're looking at him thinking, I used to play with you 2 years ago. And then you're thinking, right, who's the next manager? Nuno. And then you're not letting me go to pay for Pep for Nuno. I'm telling you now, if I'm Harry Kane, I'll do the same thing. I'll be like, I can't get motivated for this. This is crap.
So all we hear is that Harry Kane's the model professional. We won't do this, won't do that. So because it was Nuno,
that's all you hear. That's the media.
That's why. So he's allowed to give out performances like that. No,
that's the media that tells you that. If you believe everything in the media, then you believe that Jimmy Savile wasn't dirty.
No, I don't believe everything I read in the media. It's what I see from himself on the pitch.
No,
you can't look at Harry Kane on the pitch. You can't look at Harry Kane on the pitch and think that he is giving 100% or even 50% of what he is capable of because he does not want to be here.
So who's giving 100% then?
Huh?
Who else?
No, don't get me wrong. It's 100%. But no, what I'm saying is other players are at least trying. Wait, hold on. So Son had good performances to start, but obviously Nuno's tactics stopped. But Son was scoring goals. You had clean sheets from Hugo Lloris, like we've said earlier on here. Hugo Lloris has been the reason why we haven't conceded many goals. Mora was one of our players. He had a bad game against Everton, but he was always turning, driving the ball, and all that. Because people don't have 10 or 11 out of 11, like we never normally do with Spurs players anyway, you can't put everyone else down because you've seen other people trying in this team. Tell me one game where Harry Kane has absolutely tried to 100% of his ability what he's done on the pitch. And don't give me the one goal he scored against Newcastle. The whole season is embarrassing.
I'm not saying that he's trying. I'm just saying that you got.
Then.
But listen, so let me say that there's so many people. Think how many people there are in this world. So for every person that thinks like you, there's people that think like me. So I think like Harry Kane. It's like if I go to work and I'm working under a manager and we're all bouncing, everything's all cool. Or if better yet, I'm the manager and I'm managing the team, it's like everything's all good. But if it gets to the point where I'm working under a manager and I don't believe in what the manager's saying, they're chatting a load of crap, they're not motivating me, and I don't get it, you ain't going to get the best out of me. It's as simple as that. So if I don't know what you do for work, but if you were my manager and I walked in and I'm thinking, right, Monday, I'm going to smash it this week. I'm going to hit target. I'm going to do everything I do. And I come in and say, Alan, this is what I want to do this week. And then you go, nah, Jake, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. And I'm thinking, all right, so what's the plan? I ain't really got one, but we're not doing what you're saying. And it gets
who are you making this out to be? The person like manager, is this Nuno? Or are you talking Daniel Levy? Are you talking
no, any manager. It doesn't matter who it is, just any manager in general. So generally what I'm saying is if it gets to the point where you're my manager and you're supposed to instill something in me to make me believe that we are going to succeed, and continuously you don't do that, but then I don't know, you piss me off or you demoralize me. Me being Jacob, it just gets to the point where I've gone from, you know what, I was so committed to the cause to like, you know what, I'm just going to do 9 to 5 and go home.
That's understandable. But I'm sorry, you're using it as a broad thing when it's been Kane mainly that has had the really poor attitude of not really wanting to be in the game, and you can see it in his body language. The way he plays it like that.
So if I go to work and I don't really like it, then that's the same with what Harry Kane.
So Harry Kane's excused because of a manager that shouldn't have been there. Is Harry Kane excused because of that?
Why not? It's his job. So what I'm saying is that the reason why I feel Harry Kane is because everybody forgets as a footballer, it is your job. That's all it is. He's literally got a sick job. So for me, if I go and sit there, put it this way, let's just take football aside. Imagine if we all grew up together and us three go in the pub right now, we have a few beers, and you're like, oh, Jake, what are you up to tonight? Yeah, all good. What's up with you, Jake? Oh, you know what, man? My manager's just doing my head in. Like, I'm trying to get him to do this. I'm trying to get him to do that. And then I explain the whole situation to him. You're like, you know what, Jake? I feel sorry for you. Why don't you go and look for a new job? That's what you'd say to me. But then because Harry Kane's getting 250 grand a week, you're not allowed to say that to him.
Hold on, so you can say that for the whole team then. So the whole team, because under Nuno, because of under Nuno, so that means not just Harry Kane because he's sulking because he hasn't get it. So the whole team should go and look for a new job. So we should have no players.
Yeah, but it's true, because how many players have we just said we should get rid of?
Yeah, and Harry Kane's one of them because he's not on the same team.
We're saying Lo Celso and Dembele, all these players. We're saying we should sell them.
And Harry Kane should go as well. I'm saying Harry Kane should go because he doesn't want to be there. Other players we say should go because they don't have the quality. Harry Kane has the quality, but because he didn't get his move, he's deciding to strop and throw down and not want to show up and give 100% for Spurs. Yet for England, he'll turn into prime R9. No, I'm sorry, I don't care.
Right,
he can go because he doesn't get
Gentlemen, I need you to pause a minute. Mark, this is your time now. Mark,
all I'm going to say, and I'm not sticking up for anybody here, but I would just say the Euros, if you look at every single player that made it to the finals, if there's one or two players that are playing exceptionally well for their club at the moment, there's a lot of those players that aren't playing great. They haven't started well. That's one. This is my opinion, just one. I get Harry Kane. I think he has down tools. I still think he's miffed. I really do. However, and this is where the caveat is for me. If I was working for a company and I didn't like my boss or I didn't like the way things were going, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, do you know what? I want to go. I'm upset. And remember, Harry Kane wanted to go before Nuno came. He didn't want to go because of Nuno. That just compounded it even more, most probably. So I want to go, and I've got this real dickhead of a boss and everything, and I want to go. And then all of a sudden, this boss gets fired, and I get a new boss. And this boss is such a good guy. He takes me out for drinks on a Friday, takes me to a football match on a Sunday, and he treats me like a human. And I'm going, do I want to leave now?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Has he re-inspired me? Now, I
get what inspired him against
Everton. I get what you're saying, but I'm hoping Conte, the manager that he is, and the aura that he brings, I'm hoping he re-inspires Kane. Now, Kane, what he's done for the club is amazing. What he's done over the summer, I don't like. Do I hate him? No. Do I want to kick him out the club tomorrow? Not yet. But come January, if he's not re-inspired, then I'm with you. If he doesn't want to be there, go. I've got no problems with that.
Same as
I've got confidence that Conte will inspire because, he wasn't inspired with Nuno. He's pissed off that he didn't get his move and he's still knackered from the Euros. However, now he's got somebody in, and that's like me. If a new boss comes in and I really like him or her and they treat me, that will re-inspire me. I won't want to leave now and go to another, because I enjoyed the job. I just didn't enjoy the person I was working with. So hopefully Conte inspires. If he doesn't and he doesn't perform, I'm with you. Come January or come next year, you want your move, then go. I agree.
So just to come back at that.
Let Conte, the one of the top 3 managers on the planet, let him come here and try and inspire. That's how I look at it.
So let me just come back to that. He's knackered from Euros and all that. He didn't look knackered tonight when he was putting in his prime R9 routine, when he's looked absolutely knackered for Spurs the entire time, not wanting to play or anything like that.
Nor did Raheem Sterling.
But I don't care about other teams.
But these are the players that have played for England and haven't been playing well for their clubs.
But I'm talking Declan Rice. Played for England, has been killing it for West Ham. You can't paint everyone with the same brush because it's not the case. I'm talking. I don't care about other teams. I care about Tottenham and Tottenham only. I don't care what people from Man City are doing, West Ham are doing, Everton, Crystal Palace. I don't care what any of them are doing. I'm caring about the Spurs. So Harry Kane had a thing he wanted to leave, and I agree with that. He wanted to leave. That's why we should have got rid of him. I was saying all summer long we should have got rid of him because he doesn't want to be there. He wants to go on and do that. The thing is, it's not coming from a thing of hate with Harry Kane. Thanks for everything he's ever done for us. We didn't quite do it. He wants to win trophies. This is not to do with hate. This is me saying that he doesn't want to be there. Even when under Conte and all that performance against Everton was probably even worse than some of the ones under Nuno. That was a shocking performance. The only thing that I can remember from Harry Kane is one cross in 90 minutes. That's not good enough for men to be one of the best players in world football, one of the best strikers in world football, apparently. You can't. That is not good enough. For me, he still wants to go, so we should get rid of him now. If he was to come good now, and put in those performances against for the rest of the season, and like if he was to stay with us at the end of the season, all that, then I would say that's the Harry Kane that we're missing. All that. I don't know what took him all that long and all that. I'll forgive, but I won't forget. But at the moment, he's not doing it for Spurs. The attitude for when he plays for Spurs on the pitch is that he doesn't want to be there. He wants to move on. He doesn't want to be part of Spurs or all that. So just get rid of him. But if he does decide to now, obviously with what happened with England, that it's going to kick him on and in the Premier League and be there for Conte and for Spurs and perform for my team and help us propel us up the pitch or win trophies, then yeah, that's good. But at the moment, he's meant to be Mr. Tottenham. He's supposed to be the man that's meant to carry this team, and he's doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree right in the beginning. However, Conte's in his first game, he kind of turned up. In his last game, he didn't turn up. Give him some time with Conte, I think, and the same with Sonny. You know, I agree with Harry, but I don't want Sonny to get away with too much either, because Sonny hasn't really turned up either.
Son's performances have dipped as well, and I'm not saying, but at least Son has given performances this season.
Sonny's just been bad with a smile on his face.
Yeah, exactly. No, but Sonny's performances have dipped. I'm not denying that. And it's not saying that other people, there are other people that aren't good enough for this club that need to go, but Harry Kane, quite clearly at this moment in time, gives the impression for Spurs when he plays for Spurs on the pitch that he still does not want to be there.
But
so that's why I'm saying he should go.
The worst thing out of everything in summer, and I agree with you, if they came in with the right offer, but we're hearing now Man City didn't even come in with an offer.
No, and I'm aware of that. But that's what I'm saying.
Nobody wanted him, really.
Yeah. Well, they did. No, come on. People did what Man City did want Harry Kane. They didn't come into it because Man City just think they can go 100 million. We're Man City. The player will do everything like that. And Daniel Levy is not just going to go, yes, Man City, you can come in and take him on for the price that you set. It's what we value him at. So they want 150 million. Daniel Levy's not going to go, okay, I value him at 150 million. That's what he means to Spurs. And then they come in at 100 million. Daniel Levy's going to go.
But you didn't see Real Madrid or Barcelona. This is one of the top 3 strikers on the planet. You didn't see Real Madrid, Barcelona.
So hold on.
For 140 million.
So hold on. Harry Kane previous seasons from last season when he got the goals and assists and all that goes to that. So you're saying that all these clubs are saying Harry Kane shit? No,
they didn't come in for that money. So you tell me.
Because it was a ridiculous price. But that's what I'm saying. Daniel Levy priced him out of a move. But then Daniel Levy, rather than because Daniel Levy in his infinite wisdom decided to go, okay, so he's 150 million, knowing that a player doesn't want to be there, knowing that it's now had the effect it has had on the team, regardless of Nuno, I think would have got sacked anyway because his tactics weren't that good. But it's now had the effect it has had on the team for this long into a season. Daniel Levy should have just gone to and tried to make a deal. Because it's quite clear. But Daniel Levy didn't want to lose Kane and all that with everything that was going on in the club, with the hiring of Nuno, knowing fans were displeased and all that. So he done everything he could to hold on to Kane. So he cut his nose off to spite his face.
Ask yourself this question. Do you
I've got
think
a question for you quickly.
If somebody offered Daniel Levy 150 million for Kane, do you think he would have taken it?
Yeah.
I agree. So why didn't anybody offer him 150? This is one of the top 3 strikers on the planet.
Because that's the thing. 150 million. 150 million. Wait, 150 million is a pulverizing figure. So that's what Daniel Levy's the type of businessman. This is what I want. Pay it or not. And obviously, other teams are like, well, hold on, we can't pay that much because of all the new not financial fair play, but there's other rules coming into effect on that. So to pay 150 million,
Mbappe for 190 or something.
What that was a couple of years back, and that's before this.
No, this is this season. They were prepared to pay 190, and it didn't go through, but they were prepared to pay it.
So yeah, again, you're saying Harry Kane's not Harry Kane's shit that no teams came in for him.
No. I think he's worth 150, and if nobody wanted to pay it, then
Man City were the only team in the Premier League to come to him. He wants to stay in the Premier League, so he wants to stay in England. Man City are the only team willing to come in, but Man City doing Man City things were like, we'll give you 100 million like Jack Grealish. And Daniel Levy's like, no. So Daniel Levy stuck to his guns. That's put Harry Kane's nose out joint because of a gentleman's agreement, which means bullshit in football or bullshit in business, stupidity. That just needs to be left behind that. I'm sorry, that is ridiculous. That doesn't count for anything, a gentleman's agreement in business. Never has, never will. So I'm sorry. Harry Kane is still showing to me nothing on the pitch. It's as simple as that. He needs to go for that reason.
I'll give you a question then. So if we're saying that we should have sold Harry Kane for, say, 100 million, yeah? If I'm Daniel Levy... No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying in general, because there's a lot of Tottenham fans that are saying that, just sell him for whatever. So if we're all right, so if we're saying we shouldn't sell him for 100, then what should we sell him? What do you think we should sell him for? Because Mark's saying 150, which I agree with, but then we're saying we shouldn't sell him for 100, right? So if you're going to say let's meet in the middle, 125, you're thinking.
I know. So hold on. I said Daniel Levy's not going to sell him for 100 million. So Daniel Levy set his price. Daniel Levy set his price for 150 million and said we're not backing down from that. Man City come in for 100 million. That's where Daniel Levy actually goes. Well, actually, let's not give Daniel Levy any credit because he's going to be like he doesn't care that he wants to go. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that Kane wants to leave and all that. Daniel Levy is interested in Daniel Levy, so he's keeping Kane there because he thinks he gets in the win with the fans, and it doesn't give him a win with the fans because it's added all this extra crap onto our season. So it doesn't give him a win at all. It's only compounded the fact that we've had a poor manager who had poor tactics with a bad egg always a bad apple always upsets the cart. I think that's a type of phrase basically saying that if you got a bad egg, it always causes problems. It always has and it always will. If somebody doesn't want to be there, it causes problems within the changing room. You can see, apart from when they all slapped Kane on the head when he scored for Newcastle, you could see they're passing to him less on the pitch and stuff like that because he just doesn't want to be there. I'm still saying that that's causing the problem even now because that was a very disjointed performance against Everton in the attacking sense. We looked good in the wide areas. We looked steadier at the back. But up front, we still created nothing up front, shot on target. And I'm sorry, a couple of seasons ago, when under Poch first time round, Kane could pick up the ball when we were playing poor. And in one shot, goal top bins. Whereas he even looked close to doing that because he's the lack of interest from him.
Yeah, so I'm saying, if you're Daniel Levy, right, and you want 150 million, and Man City is saying we only want 100, right? But it gets to the point, you're Daniel Levy and you actually give a shit about Tottenham. So you're thinking, right, I'm going to have to go to Man City and say, right, you can have Harry Kane for this. So you're not going to get...
Also, he's got the third best striker on the planet.
No, listen. So what I'm saying is, what would you say? Because that's, like I'm saying, I'm not saying you said in the middle, but then in business, you generally meet in the middle. So if I'm Daniel Levy and I'm saying, right, Man City, you know what, this geezer wants to go 120 million. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm selling Harry Kane, who's arguably the top 3 striker in the world, probably top 2, for 120 million.
I agree, Jacob.
But then I've just bought Ndombele for 60. That don't make sense to me. Realistically, if I've bought Ndombele for 60 million, I've got my money out of my pocket to buy him from Lyon for 60 million. I want the money that Mark's talking about. I want 150 million. If you don't give me that money,
that scores 30
and the
goals
thing is, what we've got to accept as well is that Harry Kane, although he wants to leave, is stupid enough to trust his little brother to sort this all out. So it's like, why did you sign a 6-year deal? It doesn't matter who you are, but if you're working with Daniel Levy, you signed a 6-year deal. So even if you wanted to leave, and we all want him to leave, you literally put yourself in prison by doing that.
Exactly.
So
hold on. Wait. I've agreed with that. I agree with everything.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying.
It still doesn't go to the fact that because he knows he's signed that 6-year contract or whatever it was, he knows he's going to be there. He knows Daniel Levy's not going to be. When has Daniel Levy ever done anything to benefit other people apart from himself?
Never.
Exactly. So Harry Kane. So Harry Kane's situation is basically him at the moment saying, I'm not happy here. It may change the more he gets used to Conte and he may go on and to score 15, 20 goals. And like I said, if he does and he puts in the performances for Spurs, because I want him to put performances in for Spurs and not for England, right? As long as players don't get injured abroad, I want him to come back and perform better for Spurs than he'd do for their country. Anyone that goes, oh, this person's magic for their country but not good for their team, what kind of argument's that? That's pathetic. You want them to perform for your club first. Like I said, I don't care what Harry Kane does. Lascelles, when he goes away to Argentina, but he's brilliant for Argentina. He ain't for Spurs, so I don't care what he does for Argentina because he's not good for my team. Tottenham will always come first. And at the moment, Harry Kane is given the impression that he doesn't want to be there, although apparently that thing came out in the media. Goes back to the thing. When we beat Man City 1-0 at home, when the thing looked like he was going, where did he put on Twitter, good result for the lads today, tweeting out, good result for the lads today, well done lads, good start to the season. Didn't come because he believed he was going. And then he didn't get the thing like that. And he's pretty much down tools. He'll perform like that for England, but he won't perform like that for Spurs. And he's done it in previous seasons for Spurs when we've not played well, when we've had a poor team, especially at the start of Pochettino's reign and all that, where he could turn games in the blink of an eye with a thunderbolt out of nowhere and change the game. And he hasn't done nothing like that this season because he doesn't want to be there.
You know what? I got a feeling, guys. Yeah, let's just calm it down a bit. Yeah, I got a feeling by the end of this season, yeah, if Alan comes out with a positive comment about Harry Kane because somehow he's won us something or he's got us into a position or scored loads of goals, yeah, we're all going to chip in and get Alan next season's kit with Harry Kane on the back. All right.
But hold on, here's the thing.
You'll see Harry Kane score 30 goals.
Wait. You're now saying it as if the fact that I'm just saying that Harry Kane's a shit footballer. No.
I'm winding you up, man.
I want to see people that want to play for my club or give the impression I want to play for club, and he hasn't. If Harry Kane now goes on after this performance for England and goes on the thing and gives 100% effort and goes back to what he was last season or 2 seasons ago and was hitting the same numbers that he was and all that, and is a rejuvenated player. Great, he wants to play for my team. He wants to be there for Spurs and all that. Excellent, that's fine. But if he continues to do this, then he can just go out the door in January. I don't care.
But he will go if he continues like this, Alan. I think he will go because Conte will kick him out.
I'm bringing mate. When we all meet up for beers, yeah, I'm bringing the gloves, man. I'm bringing the gloves, a bag, and some headpieces.
Let's do it.
I don't think he'll survive past January.
That's nothing but love, but yeah.
I have.
There's nothing. Of course, it's love, man. It's nothing.
I have got the best team on YouTube, Bon. I have got the best. I have literally sat back. I've got over some emails. I've just chilled out, listened to the 3 of you. I've put in the WhatsApp group. Jacob's been saying, "Put me back in. Put me back in. Get me back in."
I wanted to go in, man, because it's good. It's better to have passion because if we all didn't care, then I probably wouldn't even. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't care.
Mm-hmm. That is the best. But we are an hour and 26 minutes in now, which is longer than we were supposed to go. But who cares? It's Tottenham. Yeah. We love a good heated debate where at the end of it we all come out still exactly the same how we came in, still all friends, still all happy to stream with each other. So we will call it quits now. We will call it the end of the day now. So obviously before I go to the rest of you, thank you to Kirst who couldn't be on tonight through illness, but she was still in the comments. Don't forget to follow Kirst at THFC Kirst. I think that's her main one. I'm pretty sure if it's not, then
I think that is a no, yeah.
Yeah, if it's not, Curse, you should have been here to say yourself. So I'm not. It doesn't matter to me.
You're supposed to be the leader. You should know all this.
Well, at Alan R. Clark 3, I do know all this. So, Alan, apart from the Twitter handle I've just handed out, where can everyone find you?
Find me here every Friday night having disagreements with the guys, but we're all good friends at the end. Well, we'll see when we get backstage. And that's fun. It's all good. You can find me every Thursday on Igal's prediction show. President. Yeah, every Premier League prediction show on Igal's on a Thursday, and then every other week. Although it's not happening for some time, Sarcasm City. We'll see how that goes. I still don't know if that's happened. Yeah, that's going to happen for some time, but. No, I think it's to be there. Don't put your head in your hands, Brian. And then after every game on the Football Terrace, giving my opinion on everything Spurs. Yeah, probably going to be saying bad things about Harry Kane if he doesn't perform again. We'll see.
Well done, Vice Captain. I'm very proud of you. Well
Thanks.
Done.
Seriously? What?
Sarcasm.
No. Being facetious.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget. You can catch Alan as well, Coys.com podcast that's just come out on Monday.
Forgot about that.
Don't worry, Alan, I've got you back. You're so busy at the minute. I will tell everybody else what you are up to at the minute.
Fair enough.
We did the recent episode of Coys.com. Always got Coys.com podcast. It's a lot harder to say when you think about it, lads. But myself and Alan joined Dan, Tracy and Patrick on the stream. Obviously, I personally will be there every Monday. I've been promoted to Coys.com as well as leading this bunch of men. I don't know how I managed to lead this bunch of men, but we'd get there somehow through the Fridays. Jacob, would you like to let everyone know where you are and what you will be doing in the future?
Yeah, I'm just on here, arguing with these lot. So, I used to be the calm one, but I found myself just kicking off with everyone. So next week it'll probably be Ryan's turn. So, and Kirsty, if you're watching, just be right, man. Don't think that you're susceptible, and I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm having it with the lot of you. You do my head in.
Jacob, I'm afraid to say it will not be me because I have the power, Jacob, to remove you from the chat.
You're forgetting you got that stupid button. But yeah, I'm just on here, you know, I'm trying to put time aside, but you know, with the job that I've got and family and stuff, it's hard. But at some point you'll see me doing my own thing. You can see me on here. There's a couple of other people that are trying to get me on their shows. So when I do that, just look out for my Twitter, which is the link below, and you know, just look out and see if you like my opinion. Pretty much, just keeping it going.
Definitely, yes. I do hope to see you on more soon, Jacob, because you are a very, very, what's the word I can use for you when it comes to Tottenham?
Passionate.
I'd say a bit more than passionate, actually. I'd say that extra step above passionate.
Aggressive.
Well, yeah, that's what, yeah.
The next step in it.
Well said, Jacob. That is exactly.
Passive aggressive.
Said it for you.
Yes, but Mark, where can everyone find you, my friend?
Well, they could have found me anywhere, like Fox Sport, everything, but I've turned them all down. Honestly, Sky Sport, I've turned them all down just to be here with you guys.
Yes, Mark.
Because for me, if it's not for this Friday, then yeah, it's not worth living, you know. Yeah, we are going to be as big as that planet called Uranus. You know?
What?
So no. Listen, I'm here every Friday. That's just me, and I'm actually quite surprised. I was the passive one today. Yeah, everybody else was very aggressive today.
We all take our turns, mate. We all take our turns. It was me and you last week, Mark. I'm pretty confident it'll be you and Alan next week.
In a previous lifetime, I was a stand-up comedian. Yeah, I was in a previous lifetime. I was a stand-up comedian, so yeah. Sometimes I come out with silly things, but yeah, no, just catch me on here. Really, to be fair, and I'll be honest, I haven't been on Twitter for a long time because the job's just been crazy at the moment. So, you know, working long hours, getting home, got the girls, the wife, you know. So yeah, hopefully some time will come up now that I can do a lot more things. And I look forward to being invited to coys.com because everybody else says now I want to be there as well, you know. So yeah, let's see if I get my invite, because whenever I see Kirsty say something, it's always Ryan, Alan, Jacob, and I keep looking, where's Mark, and I keep looking, where's Mark. No, I'm only joking. Kirsty, are you still there, love, or you?
Oh God, Mark, you are. You will get your invites. I promise you. You will.
Do you know what? Have you ever seen Lee Evans?
Yes.
Yeah. No, he retired from stand-up comedy. But did you? I don't know if you ever saw him. I saw him live a couple of times, and he always used to do that "I'm overtired" kind of thing. Did you see that? I'm overtired.
Oh well, gentlemen, thank you very much. Oh God, now we've got to deal with Mark in the air.
Kirsty, we miss you. Come back soon.
Oh God, yes, definitely, Mark. Thank you very much to everyone who's watched. Please don't forget to subscribe, like the channel, whether it's on Twitch or Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to follow the gentlemen who are on with me tonight. Don't forget to follow Kirst as well, who couldn't be here due to illness, but she will be back next week. And Jacob did ask what's happening next week, obviously, with the predictions and whatnot. Because it's international break, I will be giving you all a prediction of the NS Mora game in the Conference League after the Leeds game. So you will all get your prediction there. But next week, for you three and for Kirst, because it's international break, I want the three of you and Kirst to give me your all-time Tottenham English 11.
Ooh.
No English. That's it. No players.
Quick question.
No,
Is this back to last time where Mark's going to have more people to pick from, like from back in the day, or can we just all pick from Tottenham over the years? Does that have to be people that we've watched?
No, just people you have seen in your
Yeah,
life.
Mark's going to be there. Like I remember the day when I went to
Don't
watch.
be so.
Oh,
Don't
Glenn
be-
Hoddle.
Don't be so.
Yeah.
Don't be so, boys.
What a load of
Come
nonsense
on.
this is.
I remember when I was looking across the pitch and I saw Chris Waddle.
He's got people like Chris Waddle, Glenn Hoddle and all that to choose from. We've got people like bloody Andy Reid or whatever it was he came from. He came from
Let's
England.
go,
He
Jimbo.
was Irish, Alan. You've got David Bentley and people like that. Stop being so sad.
But David Bentley for Spurs. All he did was score that good goal against Arsenal. What the fuck
That'll
is that?
do.
Or getting Harry Redknapp wearing pants and cheering. That's all he done for us. No. That's ridiculous.
Jermaine Genius.
Oh, wow.
Listen, Mark has got the advantage due to age, but Mark deserves that because of age. That's how this works, Alan.
I'm like a fine wine.
Nah.
Very correct. Right, before we get into an argument about Mark and fine wine, we will call it a night, gentlemen. I will see you all and Kirst next Friday. Good night, boys.
Good night, guys.